You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, I said when ESPN had those mass layoffs as part of the 7,000 or so that happened from Disney because they had been severely wounded from taking on that dude down in Florida that's the governor and losing a lot of money from all the, let's just say, extremely left-leaning content they'd been pumping out since about 2016. I said the two guys that they lost that I thought was really a bad idea to let them go because they were two of their most talented guys, Todd McShay. The other guy was David Pollack, a guy that was beloved on College Gameday with Reese Davis and Pat McAfee and all those guys. Even McAfee took shrapnel in David Pollack getting released because many said, well, if this is a monetary move, did Pollack just become the collateral damage of Pat McAfee scoring that massive contract? That was a thing. Now, there are going to be benefits from people getting away from ESPN because they're going to be allowed to let their true feelings about things come out in the open, take shape, because we know if you have a leaning that is frowned on by the woke left, by the woke sports media, then ESPN's not going to like you very much. How do we know? See Sage Steele. We know it. We've seen what they've done with more conservative personalities on their platform. They get squashed over there. So it's a good thing he's gone. Tomorrow, SEC football championship, Georgia Bulldogs. That's who David Pollack played for. He was a first-round pick in the NFL against the Alabama Crimson Tide. But, hey, David Pollack did not wait until game day to start throwing haymakers out there because David Pollack has taken a very clear position, and I for one, I've got to commend him for it. You know, if he's going to get another job, this may hurt him. It may hurt him, but we know the way social media works today with X, with other platforms, he can still make a very nice living talking about sports if he decides to be independent, or maybe Fox Sports just says to hell with it and brings him on anyway. But he's taking a clear stance, like Rob Gronkowski did about a month ago, that women belong in women's sports, not men. And he echoes something I've been talking about a bunch. Did you notice it's a bunch of failed male athletes out there that decide to do this and go out and compete against women? Well, we're not even competitive against men, but we know we can go out and dominate women's sports. There's some kind of twisted pride that comes with that. And we've also talked about how much of a safety issue it is. Even down in this article, this is the field hockey injury that happened where the girl got her teeth knocked out playing field hockey. Well, somebody put this out. It is a Photoshop of David Pollack holding up one of his awards. I think it was at a Georgia game, but it's Photoshopped and it has transcribed on it. Women's sports is not a transfer portal for mediocre male athletes who compete as women. Hashtag save women sports. Well, that was put out there. David Pollack grabbed it and he tweeted it out or X'd it out, whatever you want to call it these days. And he said it right here. Women's sports is not a transfer portal for mediocre male athletes who compete as women. If you're a hashtag girl dad, there is no way you want your baby girl competing against men. It isn't fair, nor is it physically and mentally healthy. Save women's sports. Bravo. That is a very strong take. It's a very open, very honest take. We know, and it's already taking shrapnel. Awful Announcing is already, you see it right there, joining the anti-trans movement. I mean, they hate Aaron Rodgers. We all know why over on that platform. It's because of Aaron Rodgers' vaccine stance. So, of course, Awful Announcing is taking shots at him. And by the way, that's from the College Football Hall of Fame that David Pollack was inducted into. He was a great college football player. And if it wasn't for that injury, he was going to be a hell of an NFL player. Pollack appealed to the fathers of girls by reminding them that they would not want their daughters competing in an unfair competition that would leave them physically or emotionally damaged. Awful Announcing labeled Pollack's message anti-trans and charged that the former Bulldog had decided to wade in the political waters by taking a stand on the issue of trans athletes in women's sports. They go on to talk about how obviously this is insane. I mean, it is insane. It's insane to me that anybody could go out there and legitimately shill for women competing against, or shill for men competing against women. It's unfathomable to me that people try to defend that stance. I don't get it. It's unnatural, it's wrong, it's dangerous. However, while the raw number of average male athletes seeking fame in women's sports is relatively small, it is no less damaging to girls who are physically or mentally at risk from having to compete against trans athletes. It goes on to cite the young lady that got hurt in field hockey. As you can imagine, and they go on to talk about this, Deadspin is going to have something to say about this before it's all said and done. I cannot imagine that they won't. They will end up going after David Pollack. He was very good at his job at ESPN, and it's a shame that they lost somebody that was that good at breaking down college football, being a pundit, giving commentary on it. He was great at his job. Of all these layoffs, Golick Sr. comes to mind when I think about horrible layoffs ESPN's made. Trey Wingo's another one that they let go that was just unfathomable. And, I mean, ESPN's like a wasteland of a bunch of leftist talking blowhards now. And it's ridiculous to hear that ESPN had a policy called Stick to Sports. Are you serious? ESPN never sticks to sports, and that's one of their problems. Even Bob Iger is having to cur down and actually admit maybe we got into messaging a little too much. Well, David Pollack's not with ESPN anymore, and clearly he's out there dropping bombs, and I commend him for it, and I appreciate it. There needs to be more former high-profile athletes and current and former high-profile media personalities willing to take this kind of a stance publicly. I'm just saying, it's one of the crazier things in our society today to think there's an entire subsection of people, and I do believe it's a subsection, very minute section of people that believe it should be okay for Ivan Drago to prance out into a boxing ring and take on some chick. Yeah, that's wrong, and it's dangerous. Tell me what you think, black and white sports supporters. Good job, David Pollack. Peace 'em out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.